Yeah, well, you have an ad on the top of your screen up in the top right. All I got to do is click the
Oh
X.
yeah, I got it. Oh no, no, I've only got a
Yeah.
stop button. Oh, I'll pause it when it starts.
Yeah, well, we're live anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, it's Price is Wrong from Battle Vortex. We actually only have 3 people in here so far, and it's my fault. I know I didn't actually create the event until like a couple hours ago, but I didn't post the link to the Hangout until like 20 seconds ago. So that was on the Facebook event page. So I apologize for that. So we do have like 6 spots open, so if anybody wants to join, feel free. And please just have a headset and a microphone is really all I ask, and that way we can manage the noise a bit. But anyway, I guess I'm not quite sure what all we're going to talk about today. I know we've got like the Caustic event is out, or the Caustic campaign, whatever, the new Scourge campaign that's supposed to be out for the next couple weeks. And it's got some pretty interesting prizes in there. But I don't know. My personal opinion is those prizes aren't for everybody. You know, I really didn't do any comparisons of the final numbers of the new prototype hunter to the V2H. I didn't get the final numbers of the prototype hunter, but the thing looks awesome. I mean, it's really pretty, and
It'd been
pretty
nice to. Sorry, go on, carry on.
No, I think that was Matt just joining. It sounded like he had the YouTube, so you can go ahead, White Star.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could get 4 of them built and then stick it with one of them Harlock Aegises. That'd really knock up the defences on it, especially the concussion. That'll take it to around about 70%. So it could be a good fleet for the next raids.
Yeah. Did everybody here have a chance to try that the new Scourge campaign?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Not keen on it.
No.
There he is. There's all right, man. We got some good folks on here. Yep. Say we got Legman on here, and say Aiden. You know, I'm having a hard time remembering your pirate name, but
Black Atticus.
that's right. I knew I was gonna. Yeah, as soon as you said it, I knew I would remember it. But I don't know, old people brain, I guess. But anyway, so what are your thoughts so far on the new Scourge campaign?
It's tough, especially when Kickside don't try the campaigns out before they release them, and you get invisible subs in number 3.
Yeah, I saw that, man. That was like nuts. You know, all I did was I me personally, I parked all my boats in a corner and put a Frosty out front. And even though nothing actually ever got drawn on the screen, missiles were just flying into infinity.
Yeah.
But they were landing wherever they needed to be landing, is because the Scourge health bar was going down.
Exactly.
So that was cool, but yeah, it's a shame I couldn't target anything.
No, you were taking a lot more damage than what you should have been as well, because you couldn't see nothing. I lost a fleet in that.
But you know, it seemed to me like it was just as difficult as Ascension. Anybody else feel that way?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And especially
From what I've done, yeah. I didn't do much on Ascension.
You've got no half repair time as well, so that sucks. So you'd have thought they'd have lowered the defences down to compensate for that. But obviously not. Kicks high for you.
Yeah, I definitely kind of agree with that, man. I accumulated huge amounts of repairs. I mean, huge. Of course, part of that's my own fault for trying to use my proto, but quite honestly, I was just running out of sub holes or missile holes that had sonars able to detect. So I decided to use the proto, even though my proto only has strike missiles on it. They were pretty much, I don't know. And when you go in there, it's like, you know, my Harlocks do really good, the UAVs on subs that surface. But if you have anything left that doesn't surface, you're just kind of just watching the clock count down. It's because you're going to be, the corrosive is constantly giving you damage, so you'll never get the opportunity to retreat. So you don't go out, you don't leave that particular campaign until either you're dead or they're dead. And if they never surface, then the outcome is obvious.
Why is it when you're completed a campaign as well, it's never, like you said on your stream, it's never 3 seconds. It's always 20 seconds, and he's still taking corrosive damage, even though he completed it.
Yeah, that did irritate me too. I'm like, dang, here I am, like I'm just like counting up all the hours for repairs, and when I finish killing them all off, instead of it counting down, sometimes it'll count down from 3, sometimes it'll count down from like 15, and I'm like, I'm just sitting there watching the damage just roll in. I've already won, but I'm still accumulating damage.
Exactly.
I had a ship that was quarter health, and by the time it actually got out of the campaign, it was dead.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Some of the ships only need to be hit once, and that's all that needs to be done, and the ship's gone.
Yeah, and with my subs, that was definitely the case. I mean, when you're going sub versus sub, I like to think I'm pretty masterful with a sub. I like to think that. Okay, please nobody ruin my fantasy. Okay, but I do like to think that, and and I'm out there. But the thing is, I know when I actually spot something, if they actually manage to get a shot off on me, just one missile touches one of my subs, the corrosive damage is going to take that hull all the way out. And there's just nothing I can do about it. I mean, I can just try to make use of that hull as I'm watching the health to go away. But yeah, one missile, I'm dead. I mean, it takes a few seconds, 20, 30 seconds or whatever for it to die. But so I just try to make the best of that 20 or 30 seconds after I take that one hit.
Hey, Neil.
Hey, what's going on?
Just finished work.
Oh, cool. Maybe hopefully we do get some kind of scourge, some kind of defenses against this stuff. I mean, it's like, I know in real life, the way we battle corrosion is, we kind of use like WD-40, or some kind of paint that's got like, corrosive protection in it, right? So,
yeah.
I mean,
they'll probably
an
armor, probably 3 months down the line, like they did with the radiation armor.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it just amazes me that we're having such a hard time dealing with corrosion. I mean, really, we're operating in the ocean, right? And salt water is like one of the most corrosive things on the planet, isn't it?
Actually, you'll find it's oxygen that's the most corrosive thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go then. So yeah, oxygen. Well, salt water I know is not good either, but I guess that kind of helps the oxygen get in there, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, in combination it causes corrosion. Yeah.
I thought it was marriage.
Wow.
You're in a soundproofed room, are you?
Yeah. I'm miles away from home. She doesn't know this.
I mean, just look at his bathroom. He's in the closet right now.
Yeah.
My wife's not very happy with you, leg man.
That's all right. Does she like bad boys? I'm bad.
She's smacking Terry right there because of what you said.
She's my baby. She's getting ready to go to church with the kids.
All right.
Well, I did the. That's okay. I did the campaign 3 times last night, so I ran through basically all the things that you were streaming, and saw the getting some feedback here. Okay, there we go. Basically, I used my V2H fleet that I used in the raid, which because of the URFs, I'd ranked up several levels, and that helped considerably. Did not take anywhere near the damage that I was taking in the raid. And basically, I know this sounds like a typical coiner mentality, but the way that I found to be the best way to limit your damage in the campaign was to just blitz the targets. And we kind of talked about this, I think, in the last roundtable. Just bull rush them. You've got to get in there and you've got to kill it fast, because the longer it stays alive, the longer it's going to be shooting stuff at you. So I have a fast fleet. I was using a Sea Serpent's crew, I think it was, higher evade and turn speed, which really did help. And just as soon as something would shoot at me, I'd run at it and kill it, and just kept running around the map doing that until they were dead. So that was my experience. Yeah, it was very glitchy. I've not tried it since. I understand they've made some fixes to it, but I haven't tried it since then.
Hey, I was just wondering. Oh, sorry. You go first, mate.
No, carry on.
Okay.
Just
I got 4 of the rhinos with a combination of disruptors and harriers, I do believe they're called. And I was just thinking that because of that deflection, are they going to be absolutely useless? Because I got those 4 plus a frosty. The frosty's armored. The harrier's got everything except for armor. Am I going to be successful in that campaign, or is it just going to be a waste of time because it's got the harrier missiles with deflection?
The Harrier missiles were really, when they came out a couple of weeks ago, they were the best missile in the game. You know, I mean, it just so happens that since then the Tridents came out that's hit harder, but it had shorter range, and now we have the Blade missile that hits harder and has longer range. So, yeah, it's just amazing the way Kixeye keeps undermining the tech. I mean, they're doing a really good job at even making the coiners angry right now. And
I've got the blade. Would I be best off putting like 1 or 2 blades on each just to help me get through that campaign before I even started?
Well, you got 2 weeks, man. That's going to be your call. What you're comfortable with. I think, quite honestly, I think if you go through there, I've seen people going through there with Harriers. I've seen videos of people going through there with Harriers already, and they got through it. You know, they actually got through all 3. They actually managed to capture the prototype hunter. You know, so I'm just saying they did all 3 prize packs at least once. You know,
Yeah.
I guess the last prize pack you can do 5 times. You can claim up to 5 prototype hunters. So.
Because I've had some Alliance members who managed to get it with the V2Hs, but I think they had all like, they actually coined the Trident combination with the blade. Sorry, my baby's a bit unsettled. Thanks. And yeah, she's only 11 weeks old. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so because they had coined the refits, they've actually coined 2 of those new Silent Hunters as well. I'm not actually impressed with them. He was doing salvages with them, and they just didn't quite kill them. He had 2 with the Aegis, and yeah, I wasn't impressed personally, but I definitely want that missile, and sorry, the missile system and the torp. So at least need to go through it twice. And I don't really care about
same.
So,
but my priority really is that the strike warheads, because back at the last raid, all the big guys in my alliance were using a 4-ship Rhino fleet with Harriers, and we're getting through the siege it would sink. They'd get through. Scourge would get through the whole Rhino fleet once, and then by the end of the 5th, it'd be about half health down again. So they're doing it for about 28 coins.
Is
what
anyone
you
else
really need is the Aegis. That's what makes the raid or breaks it.
Yep.
If you don't have it, you pay, and if you do have it, well, it's a lot cheaper.
I don't have it, so yeah, it hurts. It hurts me a lot.
Is anyone else annoyed that you've got Forsaken Mission to go through twice, plus the Uranium campaign, plus dredges, plus URLs? Sorry, what was it? Unidentified radio URLs, URFs or whatever, and also this campaign, which is, well, let's face it, it's quite a bit of a pain in the backside.
There's 2 campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah, he mentioned the Let It Burn.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have been Let It Burn. No, it should have been the other one, the token one, according to the September work in progress.
Yeah.
That thing hasn't been accurate for like a month.
Yeah. There's a reason you've got to dig to find it on the forums now.
It's all Price's fault. He's the one that makes up the calendar.
Yeah.
But you know, we did the report card last month, and you know, Doomer seemed like he was really receptive to it, but it hasn't made things any better. I feel like they've done worse this month putting out good info, calendar info, than they did last month. I mean, it's just been so many changes. I mean, there's like a lot of red marks on my updated calendar.
Yeah.
I think Will just wakes up in the morning and says, right, we'll have this, and this week, and that's it.
And last thing I wanted to say about going through the campaign, I went through it, like I said, 3 times, spent 56 coins. So basically a little over $5 to go through it 3 times with the V2Hs.
I got a question, just because I haven't done it, Dirty Harry, that maybe you can answer. Now, you've gone through it 3 times, so you've done the first prize pack, the second prize pack, and you've managed to get a prototype hunter as well, right?
Right, it's cooking now.
And Now, I guess what are the difference between the three? I know in the second price pack, it's actually 6 encounters that need to be done in 2 hours. Isn't that correct? And the first one was like 5 encounters in 4 hours.
Yep.
And
5 encounters in 4 hours, then 6 encounters in 2 hours, and then 7 encounters in 1 hour.
What?
Ew.
yeah.
If you remember what Dirty Harry said.
Let me double check that. Let me double check. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's right.
So,
They say 60 minutes, but it's actually an hour.
I thought it was
So
supposed to
why do we get 16 days?
Did you say it says 60 minutes, but it's actually an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you just like making sure everybody's awake?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is correct. 1 hour. You have to go through 7 encounters in 1 hour.
No.
But I will say one thing: the number of boats in each one of these, each one of the targets, is not very many. If you have a fast fleet and you can survive long enough, killing one off them only takes a few minutes. And
Needs to.
yeah. But
so basically, don't use Phantom Nighthawks like Price did twice.
correct. You can't. There's no
'Cause,
way you
you
can
haven't got time to do it.
7 of them with subs. No way you'll get through 7 of them with subs.
Well, what it do?
Not-
Take two hours to do 5. So imagine if you're trying to do 7, you're just basically throwing coins at the wall.
Yeah.
There must be a
Yes.
difference between the stand or the quality of the each 7 of them. Must be fewer ships in each one.
The last few, there are bigger, stronger ships. It felt like to me, and I have nothing to back this up on. This is just from my drunken memory from last night. The first 4 or 5 targets were not as strong. They didn't hit as hard, do as much damage, and they didn't have as much health as 6 and 7 did. The last 2 were pretty tough. Didn't have very many boats, but each boat lasted quite a while.
And what were you using for that?
V2Hs, 2 blades, 2 cryo depth charges, 2 Tritons, 4 D5Es, missile system, what is it, interception system, or whatever that other special is, speed 5, and I don't remember my 4th special. Hold on.
Some armor of some type?
No.
Filthy good.
Agility system 3. That's what
Okay.
it is. It's all evade. It's all about evade in these things.
Yeah. Well, I've just refitted my V2Hs with all the blades on all 5 of them.
Mm-hmm. Those should kill pretty fast.
And next week it's going to be the Cutlass missile all over again, Cutlass 2.0, and it's going to like outdo the blade.
Eventually they'll stop, but
I think
my thought is that they're done now because the Forsaken Mission content is out. They won't release any more until after the next raid. So I think the blade is the top of the line missile that's going to be released at least until after the next raid.
Well, we've still got FAT, don't we? What's anyone know what's happening in FAT?
No.
I don't even
Sigh of encouragement right there.
Don't even play
Had enough.
To be honest with this
Now,
next FAT, I'm probably going to sit the first day out, hop in second day to try and get a group which isn't full of coiners.
You know,
And I
there's
might
some
be able to
people
win
doing that
something.
now, though. Do you think that's still a valid strategy? Because there's so many people doing that.
I don't know.
Well, there was one strategy lower level was trying, and he actually got 2 of the last subs. When he started, his ranking, whatever, to do the 10, he took a gunboat and lost all 10, and now he's on a really low bracket. So.
Oh, the brackets aren't based on score anymore.
No, they changed that.
Yeah.
Well, it should still be. The matchmaking should still be 300 up and 300 down. So if you're sandbagging your rating, it basically should be reducing the quality of your competition. However, a lot of people are doing that. So there's a pretty good chance that you may be playing with other sandbag players. So.
But you still get to make the same boat, so it doesn't matter if you're sandbagging or not.
Well, here's the strategy that I've been using in the FAT for the last few rounds. I get in early, and get in fast, because most of the people who are either non-coiners or not all that experienced or whatever are bringing in all kinds of fleets that are fairly easy to kill. But as the event goes on, most of those people fall off by the wayside. They're not playing very often. They realize that they're not going to win any prizes, so they stop. So the only opponents that you run up against at that point are either the heavy coiners or the people that have awesome fleets. So my strategy has been to get in early, I use Nighthawks, use a DOS crew, and just smoke everybody as fast and hard as I can. And yes, it eats up quite a bit of coin right off the bat, but it gives me a big enough point cushion that then I wait till the second or third, maybe even the last day of the event, and then jump in and just grind away as much as I have to win whatever it is I'm after.
Yeah, sadly, I'm one of those players where I have not had any. I didn't. I completely came into the Scourges completely unprepared. I don't have any V2Hs. I never built any. It's just when you play like I do with limited funds, and it just seems like you have to pick which tech you're going to invest in. Okay, and then you have to stick with that if you plan on taking advantage of that investment. And I'm not even good at following that advice, quite honestly. It's because I got fusion cruisers now that are completely built with the exception armor. There's no armor on them, but it's like I really switched gears because now I'm building rhinos because of the Scourge. But it's like I never built any V2Hs. It's not like that I never just wasn't building anything. I've always been building something, but I just never built any V2Hs, and so. I'm really moving backwards in a really, really big way. They're making technology really, really hard to acquire unless you have very specific fleets. And it just seems like with this campaign being this is kind of like a high-pressure sales technique. Like when you have a guy coming to your door saying, "Hey, I see you need a new roof. I'll give you $500 off if you sign up with us today." And I just kind of feel like you got this 2-week-long time-limited campaign. They're basically giving you 2 weeks to go ahead and get your fleets in order. And I have a really hard time believing this technology is going to be coming back in any other way really soon, because it just seems like there's so much tech that's come out that has not been back. You know what I mean? They seem like they mold the game around certain tech, but then they make that tech very they don't make it very accessible. Is all I'm saying, for everybody. They make it very accessible for a very short period of time. So basically, they really encourage heavy spending. You know what I mean? And if you don't comply, you're kind of shafted. You know what I mean? Does anybody else feel that way?
Also, to add to that, Price, yeah, I totally agree, because I know personally myself and many people in my alliance turn around now and say, "Oh, if I don't get it now, I might not get it at all." So I think it's like they're trying to do it so make you think that you're not going to be able to get it, so therefore you're going to have to push to get it, and maybe even coin.
Well, don't you think? I've seen so many people quit Battle Pirates. There's been so many people in the last week, not just coiners, okay, but I mean coiners too. But there's been a lot of people. It's because the game has completely gotten out of hand, in my opinion, and I think obviously their opinion too, because they're quitting. I don't know why the heck I'm still around. I mean, really, I do know I'm around. I'm around because of you guys. But, quite honestly, I do it at the expense of my own sanity, because the game does make me miserable a pretty good portion of the time. Every now and then, I do manage to catch myself having some fun. But it's really so long as I'm not, building up a week's worth of repairs at a time, like I did last night.
Don't tell anybody you're having fun. They'll figure out a way to take it away.
No, they'll figure a way to charge him money for it.
Yeah. There for a while, when they first turned on the content hose, they said they were trying to build out instead of up. And to a certain extent, that was true. But right now, it's solely up, because they've got you over a barrel. If you don't get this new if you don't get the Rhino, or the new missile, you can't do the raids. And if you don't get this new ship, you're not going to be. And you just feel like if you don't get it, that the next step is going to be entirely inaccessible to you.
Yeah, Price,
That's
you
why
net.
people are quitting, because they just feel like, screw it, I can't get this, and it's obvious that I need this for next week. It's not even next month or next quarter, it's next week.
Right. And Price, what was it you said last night? You have to have you need the toys to win the toys, or you don't have the toys you need to win the new toys, or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, just not. I don't have the tech I need to win the tech, and
Right.
and I'm an old guy. I've been around this game almost since its very beginning.
You're not that old.
Say that again.
You're not that old.
Well, I'm in the game. I've got a 5-digit ID, 62K as my ID, and I've been playing this game since I'm just saying since before it went public. Anyway, Blackwater days, and and the fact that a couple of years ago, if you go back 2 years, I mean before the Hell Strikes and all that, I was one of the top players in the game. I was good at hitting bases. I had a really strong base, and I was able to keep up. Well, not completely keep up. To a degree, I was able to keep up. The game wasn't overwhelming me then, but now it's like I've receded so far backwards. It's like I'm almost. I remember level 40 saying, "Hey, open cargo for me." I feel like I'm getting close to that. I feel like I'm going back. It's like an old guy that starts wearing diapers again. That's what I feel like. And
as you know, Price, I'm quite happy to coin significantly when I want to. I don't coin quite regularly, but sometimes I'll spend a good chunk. Like I've already got OP7 and dot whatever number we're up to now. But mind you, I did not coin a cent for the raid at all because I thought it was totally crap. But I had the most luck with fusion cruisers on that. Obviously, they'd die once the Frosty would die, but that was what I was killing everything with. I only did one elite, got my million, my single elite target, and then I stopped. But that's why I wanted to watch you specifically do your campaign, because I'd heard people do V2Hs. I knew you didn't have V2Hs, but I was expecting a little, insight. And unfortunately, I don't have an Emmy to just throw at it and stuff like that. That didn't really help it either. But before the raid started, I thought I was going to be sweet. I had 3, and I was nearly onto 4th. What's the new boat? The retargeting boat, Rhino. I had 4 of them. I thought, oh yeah, I'll be sweet as. They've all got thermal. They've all got retargeting, like remote retargeting, and nothing. They were crap, absolutely crap. So even if you do have the new toys, you're still up, crap creek with no paddle,
I think this game's all to do with ranking and money nowadays.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Rank.
No question.
Too much money. They expect too much money.
I think Harry should start dishing it out, I think.
Yeah. It does take a ridiculous amount of time and a ridiculous amount of coin. I mean, it's really the expectation. I mean, obviously they built this new enemy around the expectation of everybody having a very specific type of fleet. But I don't know. I don't know that was really a realistic expectation, because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of players that start this game. Possibly, I would imagine every day they're getting a lot of new players. I mean, I know a lot of players are leaving too every day, but I think it's crazy to build an event that has just got such very specific requirements. You know what I mean? And that just makes so much tech they put into the game completely obsolete is just crazy. And then when they turn around and they come out these Harrier missiles, which were awesome, and we on BB encourage people to get them. And then turn around, they undermine that tech with the Trident, and then again with the Blade missile. I mean, the Rhino owners, I mean, out there, them poor guys. Yeah, you got a fleet that's a couple months old, tops. I mean, I haven't even got my first hull done, but I haven't put any missiles on yet. Thank goodness. I was putting Trident missiles on, but when I saw the Blade missile, I canceled that and just started another Rhino hull.
That would save time, yeah.
Yeah, I just figured I'd try to get in front of it that way. So I plan on building like 3 Rhinos, but I don't have any Aegis. I wish they would do something to make the Aegis a little bit more accessible, because it's pretty much required to keep costs down these days.
Yeah.
Be waiting for Christmas, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So you mean the 35 million point flagship wasn't accessible enough for you?
Yeah, sadly.
Go ahead.
Sorry. All you have to do is look at how many millions of ID now. So what are we up to, like 18 or 19 million ID?
I
Right?
think 17 and a half, yeah.
Yeah,
and
70.6.
and there's only what, 50,000 people playing. So where's the other 14 million, 15, 16 million people that are like because obviously it goes up during raid or whatever. But
Quit.
where's the 15 million people? They've all fucked off.
Yep.
Yeah, well, yeah, that number. I mean, people always seem to think they know how many people are playing, but there's no good resource to come up with that number. I'm just letting you know that they're with the being 4 different. I mean, it's just an often assumed number. You know what I mean?
That's
I'm
probably
sure
why
there's a
they
lot
took
more than
leaderboards
50,000
away.
people playing.
Yeah, that's why they took leaderboards away, so you can't see how many people's actually doing the raid.
Yeah.
Well, what
Hopefully
That
next
was a
time,
good. That was a good judge of how many people, because everyone who's actually actively playing, they're going to want to try to do the raid. Maybe less nowadays, but 6 months ago, you could tell that 57,000 people played the raid because someone had their alt account get 1 point just to see who beat that 1 point. I know. Was it BP Prof used to do that or something? And
I know Wim on BP Nexus does that every month.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah. We got some good people out there trying to help out the entire community. Kickside needs to start hiring these people. Like Price, you're perfect. You test the shit out of everything, and they'd have their bugs and fixes from one guy, and this is what needs to be fixed, and you know what? Everyone else will benefit greatly, and they could pay you in coins or something. Like, I'm sure you'd enjoy your job with them a lot better than having to actually spend your own money, wouldn't you? If you were
Well,
just
I'm not going to lie. Me personally, instead of them paying me to do anything, I'd actually prefer that they just fix the game, the cost of the game. That way, the community itself, would be get to be stronger. And right now, I feel like it's really waning. Is because the costs are so high.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of though? You buy something that's made in China for 50 cents and it breaks the next day. You understand that? You buy that little piece of crap toy for your kid because they wanted it from a show bag, no dramas. But we're basically paying for that 50-cent toy that's already going to break tomorrow, and what we're doing is we're spending $500 on the piece of shit. How do they expect us to want to buy piece of shit made in China crap when there's other games out there that have been tested? I personally don't play any other game except for this. I like it, but I've been playing for years, and maybe I'm just a stubborn asshole. But and I do enjoy the community. I every now and then talk to Price and stuff like that, and I've talked to my alliance members, and a lot of us are in my country and all that kinds of crap. So I enjoy that part, but I hate what Kickstarter's doing to it.
Well, personally, I don't play this game now for beating people's bases and whatever. I just come on to chat to people and have a good time with the alliances or friends. I find that quite as enjoyable as going blowing up stuff and whatever.
Until they charge you to use comms.
You don't even get time to do hitting bases anymore. All you've got is chores. They're even now forcing you to do missions twice so you can get the tech. They even come up now with that stupid, what is it, token, and then you're getting a mystery. What is the mystery?
It's a 1 hour token.
No, the mystery is a bill. A bill. Charge you more coins.
Well, I guess it was. We always accuse Kicksai of not testing their content before they release it, right? They just make sure the pixels work. I guess it was a matter of time, right? Because that third wave, the pixels didn't even work.
Yep.
on the pasta campaign.
Yeah, that was
your stream yesterday,
tested well.
And sorry, you got Terry.
I just said that was tested well. That's all. I'm done.
Yeah, well, I've watched your stream yesterday, Price, and I've noticed that you kept asking where the Dracs were, and I've got to watch a few people hit the same targets in the sector, and lo and behold, they had Dracs in them where you didn't. So I don't know what's going on there. And the other bit is that there's a lot of mixed fleets that seem to be doing well. Like you've got a missile hull in there. You've got one of the launchers, one guy had the latest Scarab UAVs in it, and a Frosty, and he really did well. So it can be done, but you need to have the right hulls. That's probably the main thing. And of course, then you've got the people with the ages or whatever you want to call it. That helps even more.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I would say just about anybody can get through the first round. Limited coining necessary. Second round, you're probably gonna have to grind a little bit. Maybe have to coin, but if you're gonna get through and start winning these boats, you better have a monster fleet. If not, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it to the end in time, and you're still gonna have to coin. With a monster fleet, you're still gonna have to coin to get to the end.
Well, isn't that the point, though, Harry? That you're saying you have to coin. This game shouldn't be about forcing people to spend money. It's a free game.
And I'm sure that their perspective on it is, well, if you don't want to spend the money, then you don't need the tech.
Well, yeah, I think it's all about setting your own targets and your own level and playing towards that, not trying to play to Kickstarter extremes and going after the little carrot they dangle in front of you.
Yep. And as far as the new ship, after doing some looking at it and playing around with some builds, one of the things I'm very disappointed with is the fact that you have to put 4 torps on it if you're going to use those weapon slots. So you've got 6 weapon slots that can use either torpedoes or surface weapons. Then you have 4 that have to use torpedoes. You can't use depth charges or anything like that. It's not a mixed slot. It's a torpedo only or a submerged weapon only.
Underwater.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, my V2Hs, I have 8 weapon slots, and I could put pretty much anything on any of those slots. I can only put torpedoes on 4 of them, but I could also use surface weapons on those 4 slots as well. You can't do that with this new boat, and that's disappointing. Then again, with the blades, if you use blades on them, that's nice. Once again, also the downfall is that it makes it very difficult to find a place to put countermeasures. So the build that I'm going with, for what it's worth, is blades and B-torps for speed.
But haven't they brought out that new torp that's got the 88 range? Wouldn't you put that on?
Nope, because a set of blades, or if you have a fleet with 4 blades and 4 of the new torps, on 5 boats, let's say, the blades are going to have killed whatever you see before the torps even get there. Most likely, unless it's unless we're talking about targets much stronger than anything we've seen so far. I mean, my V2Hs with 2 blades each just waste these boats. There's no way torps would get there before they die.
No.
And I mean, when you compare the prototype Hunter against, say, the V2H at R10, the differences are, aside from the extra special spot, bit more thermal, and 10% more penetrating reload, the differences are pretty minor.
No, actually, I think the difference is huge.
You got 50% concussive defense as well on it, which is absolutely huge.
Well, that's the same as what you have on an R10 V2H.
Yeah,
but 50%. It's that new price. Help me out. It's the new damage type, or not damage type, but
similar like the siege and the siege and the assault.
Yes.
Attributes. I knew there was like deflective and something else.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the game changer for this hull, and what puts it head and shoulders above the V2H. That's a guess, because we haven't had anything with that on it yet. But I'm guessing that's going to be what really makes it head and shoulders above the V2s.
And being a campaign, it won't be co-op, will it?
Never noticed.
I didn't really take any pay any attention.
The new campaign. I don't think any of the campaigns on your tower are co-op, are they?
Some of the old
only when they've got. Yeah, I think it's only when they've decided to be nice and give us co-op in the raid.
Yeah, I don't believe any of the normal campaigns are co-op. I haven't seen any of them that are normal or that are co-op.
Co-op. Yeah, the ones that attach to your base, but no.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait until some videos surface and we get a bit of an insight of what it all looks like and what can be done and the most cost-effective way, I suppose.
Well, you won't be getting videos, will you? Because that person's gone.
Well, he's talking about player videos, I think.
Yeah, I'm talking videos that players make as they hit the.
Yeah, the ones on CSI like that.
Yeah.
But what about? Well, we haven't talked much about OP7 or anything yet, but we did have an offer for some tokens that came out.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact there were at least 2 different variations of it, just based on conversations with people in my sector. The version I got, which was very strange, I got 12 20-hour tokens, not 24, 20-hour tokens.
20 hours, yeah.
For build tokens, obviously, building build tokens, construction tokens.
Yeah, structure ones, yeah.
Yeah, for what was it? Basically $25. So we did the rough math. Once again, in my drunken state, we kind of figured out it was pretty close to half price. So it was about 10 days worth of build time for half price. So that was kind of nice.
There's your
there it is.
20-hour structure build with 12 tokens right there. You call my screen up.
And the other one, Price, I didn't have that one. Didn't you have the other one?
Yeah, the other one, the one that I ended up getting was just 2 days. It was 2 24-hour tokens for $5, $4.99.
Wow.
Yeah,
why don't everyone get the same offer then?
You know, Kixeye, they always say it's always they're running tests, you know, and they never make the same offers available to everyone. Mm-hmm. Even when they come out with the paint jobs, they're not all the same to everybody, and it's kind of disappointing. It's kind of disappointing because you know, as I'm such an idiot, I actually went ahead and bought mine. I gave them the $5 for mine and took the 2 days and spent it right away. So.
That's why they didn't give you the better offer this time. Is because they knew that you were pissed off from the last time, and you definitely wouldn't buy it.
I'd be willing to bet money that it's based on money. It's how much coin you spend. So the heavier coiners, and who knows what that means within their math. But if you spend a certain amount per month, or you've spent a certain amount in the game, or whatever, you got the bigger offer or the better offer.
A bigger carrot.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
The offer though isn't any different. I mean, you've got 480 coins for which is 10 days, and if you add that up with the coins that Price and myself got, the $5 ones for 2 days, well, 2 5s make 10 as well. So.
Oh, it is half price still, but I'm just saying he had access to a lot more at half price than I did.
Yeah. Which is
great. All that means is now I'm in the same class of whale as Harry.
Big spenders unite.
Just a question. Does that mean that you couldn't redeem that two days multiple times and then bought it enough to be the same as 10 days?
No. Well, I only got the opportunity to buy it once.
Yeah, you get it once. You get the opportunity once. Yeah, they give you a certain amount of time to buy, but once you redeem it once, it's only available one time. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think it's 24 hours from the first time you see it. Is the time limit?
I think you're
this one's 2 days.
Because I saw mine for the first time last night after we got to the hotel. I opened my base on the phone to check see if anybody had hit me, and so it would have been about 24 hours from then is when it expires.
Sorry to left turn, but don't you just hate that? Don't you hate the fact that you have to check your base on almost a constant basis just to find out if you've been hit?
Yeah.
Where's the emails? Fix the emails, Kix. Fix it.
Now, I'm going to say this about the email. First off, I don't push email on my phone, so it wouldn't have helped anyways. And second off, I'm not all that big of a fan of the emails because all that does is it takes the guys who literally can't take a hit, and you go in to prep them, and after the first time you hit them on a prep, they get an email, and 3 minutes later they're outside with all their buddies running interference. I actually like the fact that the emails have a delay in them or just don't work at all, because that gives me a chance to do a prep hit without having to worry about the guy popping up in the middle of a prep.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with an hour delay or something along those lines. Give the guy all the time in the world to prep and hit, but let me know.
Well, how about this? Let you know that you've got a bubble. If he hits you 8 times, you're going to get the hour bubble, or if he hits you and either succeeds or fails, you'll get a bubble. So when a bubble pops up on your base, give you a notice.
No, not necessarily. If he comes in and nails out my labs that I've got, time stuff going on, it's going to cost me, half a day. It could cost me half a day, 12 hours or not more.
There's so many dock snipers out there. There's people out there that don't want to do anything but grief other people's docks. So I don't know. I think it sounds to me nothing personal. I mean, Vlad, I'm definitely not trying to discount your opinion there. I think it is a good, understandable point, but at the same time, it is kind of taking the PvP out of PvP. You know what I mean? If you I'm just saying it's an option. You're right. Some people that can't take a hit, and it's sad that your strategy really depends on you being present. When it comes to base design. Me personally, when I used to design a base, now I don't really give a crap. I'm just trying to see how much damage I can get my turrets to do. But back in the day, it was even when I was online, I wouldn't drive because I needed to know how my stuff performed, and it just seemed like whenever I did try to drive, I always did worse than if I just left my stuff alone anyway. So.
Yeah, and it's not, to me, it's not about driving. It's about keeping my labs and my upgrades going and my repairs going. So if I get hit, I lose 6 or 8 hours of repair time and build time and everything else. Plus, I have to wait for everything to heal up or repair before it starts building again. Or
launch pad.
Yeah. And I don't even mind.
RP, etc., etc. Amongst some of the lower level players in my alliance, when saw 20 days for OP7, so that's about a month.
Yeah, as I say, I don't even mind necessarily that somebody wants to drive. What bugs me is the conga line of zombie kudas that the Alliance puts out, just trying to stop a guy from taking a hit. I'm like, if he's got a base worth hitting, let him take the hit. And if he doesn't, what are you worried of? What are you protecting?
Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees with you on that point. I'm just trying to make the point that I want to be able to click repair. Like Price, I don't drive, so...
I fully agree. Yeah, I want to be able to hit repair, especially when it's 20 days to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I personally think they should stop you from zombieing fleets.
No,
I remember a while ago.
Well, that's never going to happen because Kix has adopted zombie fleets. Look at what the Viperfish do. They blink out just before you kill them, and they come back 10 seconds. They drive back into the screen 10 seconds later, as pretty much as zombies.
Yeah, we all know though Kix do what they want anyway. I'm about players doing it.
But I remember a while ago, the dock used to repair itself. There was some sort of a trial that Kix did, and you got hit. Fair enough, your buildings and everything stood broke, but the dock fixed itself, and you got back on after a hit, and you could launch a fleet and you could play even though your buildings were repaired, because your buildings don't stop you from launching a fleet. It's only the dock. So all Kix really has to do is fix the dock on automatic. As soon as you get hit, as soon as the hit's finished, you get your bubble. Everything else stays broke. The dock fixes itself.
Well, they won't do that because they miss out 5 or 6 coins.
Yeah, they miss out on coins.
Sacrilege is that now, losing 6 coins Kicks there. Can't have that, can they?
No,
yeah, exactly.
But it was like that. It happened. It was like a year and a half or so ago.
Yeah,
I never had that. It was close group.
Yeah, they did it as a trial. You're right, but they took it away. They took it away because it was costing them coin. Pretty simple. And Price, you mentioned something about paint jobs, and we were also talking about the new corrosive damage type. Wouldn't it be... I'm going to get shot for saying this.
Go on.
Yeah, don't give my ideas.
You're smiling. You're smiling, Price. You know where I'm going. Wouldn't it be interesting if they released a skin or a paint job that actually had corrosive damage resistance built in?
Dang straight, man. It should be all it is. It's just a paint job. That's all it should be. Is a paint job.
Skin
Well,
by
there is
Roundtable.
actually paint.
Respectively to all skins they've already put out.
Yeah,
But
paint. It's corrosive retardant and also rust revivals and stuff like that convert it and stuff. So it's doable in real life.
Yeah, but if you're a business that's trying to figure out a way to force people to spend money, what better way than to say, hey, here's a new paint job for the latest ships or the new V2H skin, for example. Oh, by the way, it also has some corrosive damage resistance built in. Boy, everybody'd be buying that.
But it's
Yeah,
going to
but
cost,
What about all
cost
the
you a lot of money.
The Z-Bar paint job.
Going back a little bit, before I was able to jump in, you were talking about the time that winds down after you get 100%.
Yep.
You kill. That time is based upon the longest amount of time that any weapon that's already been fired has left. So the corrosive damage, if the corrosive damage will go 20 seconds, you're going to get a 20-second clock. That corrosive damage will expire before it lets you out of the combat. If you're somebody who hits bases with rockets and mortars, you'll notice that when you 100% a base with rockets, you only get about 3 seconds because that's the flight time on the rocket. But when you do it with a mortar, you get about 9 seconds, depending upon the mortar, because the mortars are in the air longer. So it allows all the weapons.
I disagree because I've watched videos where people were taking corrosive damage, and I've even done it myself. Actually, if you watch any of my streams back of me fighting the scourge, I'm actually relying on the clock running out to save my ships. You know what I mean? And it actually does save my ships sometimes, and I've just seen other people.
Well, then it works differently than the other weapons do. But that my experience with the clock is the weapons have to resolve. But I'll be like I said, I mentioned in private, I haven't had because I was out of town to go to a football game. I did not have the opportunity to do the time limited campaign yet, and I had pretty limited experience inside of the raid because, well, we all did.
Hey, Price, on a different note, we were discussing this yesterday, I believe. You know how you said you had fusion cruisers, but you didn't have them with armor? Now, I just did an entire 85 minus the top and bottom torp towers. I did that while screen sharing. I don't know if you noticed. Now, the fusion cruisers, one was instant repair, the other one was 12 minutes, and another one was like 20 minutes, and then all the damage was straight to the Frosty. Now, if you've got those unarmored, you should basically be able to do the Forsaken mission, at least the first 50 million, for absolutely free.
Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty good so far. I mean, I got a fairly decent system. I haven't actually tried the. I do use my fusion cruisers as part of my strategy, but I don't do the whole thing. And so I've been doing on my Twitch stream, so it's been working okay. I'm saying I got a good plan, so I'm good.
Yeah, okay, mate. I just thought I'd throw it out there because I knew that when you basically said you're doing them for free and you gave that sort of sarcastic, how the hell are you doing that sort of thing? Yeah, because the fusion cruisers outrange.
Came across that way.
Price is never sarcastic, surely.
I didn't think you were saying that negatively towards me. I think you were saying it negatively towards Kixeye. I still think 50 million and 65 or whatever it is way too much. It should be more like 30 and 50. 30 and 50, I think people would be okay with.
My wife made a really good point. Me and her were talking. She plays Battle Pirates, and we were chatting last night. And I'm just kind of curious to hear what everybody else thinks about Forsaken missions and having to do the 50 million and the 65 million. Okay, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it has been a topic with something that Doom Rooster. It came up in a conversation that I had with Doom Rooster, and he mentioned that people were okay with having to do the 50 million. They didn't like it at first, but now they're okay with it. And I think where he gets that from is because people stop complaining about that because now they're complaining about something else. You know what I mean? It just seems like the constant barrage of crap coming out of Kixeye. We're always our complaints are never set on one particular topic because they're always moving because there's always more crap coming out to complain about. I mean, and Kixeye is of the mind now. At least it would seem that we just don't like new things. We don't like change, and I don't think. I told him that's not the issue. I'm like I said, we expect change. You know, I know I do, but so I think my wife actually made a really good point. Is that Kixeye assumes that we're okay with Forsaken missions the way they are right now, at 50 million and 65 million, having to do it twice, is because they're not getting the complaints that they were.
No,
I mean,
it's hell boring. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Well, and it takes a lot of time, right? I mean, how much?
No.
I mean, I used to be able to do my Forsaken missions in an hour for free.
Yeah. I think people have now got fed up of complaining about the missions that they're just giving up on it.
Yep.
And because it's now been 3-4 months since we've had them like this and they're not being changed, so everybody's just thought, oh, sod it, they're not going to change them now, so what's the point? Let's move on to something else to complain about.
Well, I think we just moving on, trying to hopefully they'll listen and fix something, right?
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like, okay, well, we're all convinced that they're not going to fix a Forsaken mission, so we move on. We don't talk about Forsaken missions anymore. But I don't know. It just seems to me that maybe that's their strategy.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's why there's so much crap coming out. Is because they're tired. They don't want us complaining too long about any particular one thing.
I just finished my weekly mission. I've got 4 hours left on the clock. I've done 50 million, and I've done tier 3 again. That's it. I stopped.
Wow.
No coins. No coins.
I haven't spent any coins yet this week. Yet.
So I mean, I can grind it out. No coins, no worries. We're using a combination of different fleets and subs and reapers and that. But there's no way I can get it the second time without coining, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, as we've talked about with just about every other target we've discussed, if you've got the fleets, you could do it. I mean, 3 days is enough time to do.
Yeah, but I kind of disagree. Sorry, yeah, but I kind of disagree. Oh, you get it once, yes, but to get it twice you can't, because it's the same as the raid. This is the problem I have. That once somebody got shitty with me because I said, even if you've got the fleets, you can't tell me that if you put a good fleet in and you get like 6 hours repair, 7 hours repair, unless you coin it, that you're going to get enough points to get that 35 million prize, to get the 20 or 12 million prize.
Well, that's the difference. You're getting 6 or 7 hours of damage per 85. I'm getting about an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about in general.
But let's be honest here. You paid quite a bit of money to fix the fleets to get them down to an hour and a half. It's not free. You just paid your money up front.
Yeah. Right. And once again, going back to the point I made a second ago, anything in this game, I can't say anything. Just about anything in this game so far is doable if you have the right fleets. That could require coining, could require a lot of ranking, whatever.
And I'm not going to.
Sorry, I disagree with that.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I disagree with that in some cases. Maybe the weekly, yes, but in the big raid, I know people have got the fleets because some good fleets because they've had help, right? And because they couldn't get help this time, they throw the fleets at it. And even during half repair time, they do a whole pile of elite, or even if they did a full elite, one fleet, theoretically. You tell me, Harry, how many hours damage would you have if you did one elite? Honestly. No coining, just use your best fleet you got and was able to complete a elite target. Anybody, for that matter.
Oh, that'd be like 48 hours for me.
6.5 repair time.
But I think it was about 16
hours.
16, 17 hours.
Alright, so you got one elite for 16 hours repair, right? If you don't coin that, that means you can only use that fleet once every 16 hours. How many elites will you get over the 4-day raid? 6, 7? Max? If you don't coin?
Along those lines. Yes.
So you're going to struggle to get even the top prize.
Well,
so even if you've got the top fleets, you're still going to have to coin if you really want the big prizes.
Well, Kixeye did make a point of that. Yeah, Kixeye actually did make a point of that. They for some reason, it seems like these days they're not really respecting that front-end investment. You know what I mean? They're also, stuff. Like Dirty Harry. He has nice fleets, right? He has that front end investment. of either time or money. But Kickside doesn't feel that even if you've made that front end investment, even on the back end, it still shouldn't be free.
And that's the big problem that the coiners are having with the raids, this last raid.
But
We've put all this money into these fleets, and we're still having to coin our butts off to repair them. And that's just too much.
Well,
I'm trying to get. Sorry, Bryce.
Well, I was just going to say about the Forsaken mission, though. Is there anybody on here that does feel like the 50 and 65 is warranted and that it's okay? I mean, you're fine with it, and you think that everybody else in the community should be fine with it too?
No.
Okay, no.
Anybody on the panel at all?
Nope.
Nope.
No, it's just hours and hours of grinding in a chore.
Every
if
week.
you time it perfectly, you can do it for a smaller amount of coin because you can sit on your repairs when you have to repair. But that's not the issue. The issue is it's a game. It's supposed to be fun, and the this FM never was fun. But more importantly, grinding an hour and a half or 2 hours a night for 3 consecutive nights, doing the same target over and over and over again. There's nothing fun about that. It's not a game. It's a frippin' chore.
Well, you can say.
And I know you love that word, Kickside, but it is. You've created a chore.
Say the same thing about the fat, can't you? That's now become a chore. It used to be fun until they took away the uranium and made it coining.
I think I need to clarify something there. It was already a chore. What they did is they made it so much bigger.
Yep.
Yeah. What I would like
it was a manageable chore. It was an hour is manageable. Everyone's got pretty much everyone here I would imagine has a spec. Everyone here's probably got some sort of mortar fleet or something that they could use, and they could have just done the 565s. That was a chore, but you know what? You knock that out in your lunch break nearly, so not so bad. But this, even for me, and I coin nowhere near as much as Dirty Harry, I do believe, but still, I don't mind spending $100 here and there. It is like hours of my time. Hours. It's just, I'd rather be doing dishes.
Yeah, I would like to see them introduce, I mean, I know they came out with 75s and 85s. I'd like to see them introduce a 95 that's worth, I don't know, 12, 15 million, and have it just be an absolute monster that we could pick at, chip at, or whatever. But hitting the same target 15, 16 times is just insane.
Mm.
Hey, does anyone else get more damage from a 75 than they do from an 85?
Yes.
No, tried.
75s aren't worth it in my opinion, because you could do 2 65s and get the same points and no damage, or you can do 75s and you're going to take damage. There's no getting around taking damage in a 75. And
I take 4 times as much damage in a 75 as I do in an 85, and it's worth, what, 4 times more points? It's just ridiculous. It's stupid.
What I think is interesting about that, we all remember the 40s and the 47s, 55s. The 47, horrendous. So everybody would hit 40s, and then once you could do 55s, you'd go to 55s. Nobody ever hit 47s, at least not that I know of.
I was just trying to say that.
55 should be harder than the 65 until I got a good sub fleet that could avoid the torp towers.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I've never done.
55s.
I've never done an elite target until this week. I'm on vacation, and I thought that I'd give it a shot, and I put a couple of fleets together, and I've actually gotten to the elite this week, and lo and behold, I got the blade missile, so I won't be doing it again for a while.
Congratulations.
I got the blade, but I'm still going to go through it again.
Just remember now, you can't get the turret unless you have all of them done.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it again now.
Yeah,
the only one I've got is the blade missile and the what's the ballistic weapon that we all got a while ago with the Crusader.
The ballista.
The Arbalest. That's the only 2 I've got out of the elite. I've got nothing else, so there's no chance.
Well, the only one I've got's the Arbalest because raid prize.
I'm going to go through that campaign, see what it's like with my unarmored rhinos.
Make sure you do a video of it and post it, eh?
I'm sharing it right now with... I haven't actually done it yet. This is the first time. But I'm doing it with screen share right now.
I just hope... Sorry to change the subject. I just hope, talking about co-op from a little while ago, next raid they bring co-op back. Because otherwise, the smaller players haven't got a chance.
Yeah.
I'm an
You guys-
82, and I haven't got a chance.
I'm a 93, and I gave up.
I'm a
But that's
60. I
actually an
did
interesting thing. I
I
wouldn't be
did
surprised
one
they do bring.
attempt in the siege and gave up.
Hey, why is there things already weakened in here? Did anyone notice that when they the first thing there's
I know.
It's supposed to be because the Drax were in there.
Yeah.
Wayne,
Ah.
what were you saying, Legman?
I was going to say, I'm sort of hoping, anticipating they might bring back the co-op, because I heard a lot of complaining that, or not complaining, but people pointing out that they actually coined less that raid because they didn't at the end help others. So maybe they might bring it back.
That's because you couldn't help others. It's
But
impossible.
that's my point. But if they didn't coin,
Hold
if
on.
they didn't coin as much because of that, and Kickside get the message, it's possible they might turn around and say, "Oh, okay, we're gonna, you know."
Yeah, but the point I think it was making there was if the raids are still that hard to do, then nobody's not going to want to help anyway, because it's still going to cost them more coins to help.
Well,
Yeah, I
there
agree.
is people that do. Sorry, you go.
No, you go. Go on.
No, I was just going to say if it was co-op, there would be coiners that would be able to help, and there is people that will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still going to cost them a hell of a lot more coins than normal.
Oh yeah, we're not saying that, but we're saying the amount of coins that will actually generate to Kickside.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's the only reason they open up the bar on Monday, because they realise that unless they open the bar up, people are not going to coin those damn targets.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet that I've spent more money on raid repairs from helping others or getting bonuses for others or whatever than I have to get my own prizes.
Yeah.
Do you need
Yeah,
you guys
I'm
actually
just-
see my screen?
I just want to throw up a question here, and that is, what do you? I mean, we've got a couple of coiners here on the panel. What do you
Wow.
think of what Kickside did in the last raid with the 95 with the Vanguard targets? Like I know that some people of my alliance have gone crazy and opened them all up so that they could hit them, and and now all of a sudden they've said, oh, no one's participating in this raid. Why don't we just open them up anyway? So what do you guys think about all that? What they've done there?
I think I'm glad I didn't hit a single surface target until after I found out, and then when I found out about that, I just sat back and laughed.
I thought.
Yeah, I'm with Harry on that one. Totally with Harry on that one.
I
I know
did-
people turned off.
So I deliberately stayed away from anything. After I quit on the first day, I got 700,000 from hitting the siege, and I just gave up. And I deliberately, even when they opened up the actual platforms, I didn't hit one deliberately because I just wasn't interested.
I didn't hit any either.
I did siege once. That's not true. I did siege once and one of each target. I do that every raid. I hit one of everything, just to see what it's about. But generally, I go to elite and just grind those until I'm done.
I actually find it more enjoyable helping other people in an alliance or in the sector than I do playing my own raid sometimes.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that I've helped other people out so much is when I was coming up in the game, I was in an alliance where a lot of people spent a lot of money to get me some of the toys that I'm still using today. So it's kind of one of those pay it forward things.
Absolutely.
On a personal note, and I'm not, this is just from my point of view, and I probably think some others were saying, the biggest good thing about the raid, there was one good thing about the raid, the monthly raid, because I was at home, my wife was very happy because I didn't play much in the raid. I spent more time playing with the kids, helping her around the house, and doing other stuff. So she was happy.
Yeah.
You guys will be happy to know that tier 3 on the thing, the ships have shown back up, so I can actually see them, not like when Price did his, and that was everything black.
Excellent.
Yeah, so they're working it, and there actually are some Dracs in there, but they're all nearly dead. Like they take one shot and they're dead, each of them. So if you guys can see my screen, I don't know if you're watching or whatever, but
I'm trying to watch.
This is tier 3.
And to go back for a second and directly answer the question without being flippant about it, I apologize for that, but what did I think about the thought that went through my mind when I found out that they were opening up the 94s for the last day of the raid is that they're reacting. They need money. They're doing that to try to get people to coin. Did it make me mad? It probably would have made me extremely angry if I had been grinding on them. But just fortunately, this is the first raid I didn't do that. Go ahead, Tux.
This question wasn't just at you, Harry. I know Vlad coins a bit, and I'm pretty sure that Phantom and White do throw a coin at kicks. It was meant across the panel, not just at you. I don't mean to single you out or anything like that. You know what I mean?
The truth of the matter is I really didn't care, because the only thing I did, I wasn't going to participate at all after I hit the first 55. And then because I had been invited on to be a guest arbiter, I decided I better do one of each. So I did one of each. And that was it. And had I been grinding on them and not gotten it open, I would have been happy. Had I been grinding on them and our sector had it, I'd be like, well, that kind of sucks. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think any sector actually opened it, except I think there were some sectors where people had alternates that they used to hack to open the sector bar. Because I can't see anybody spending the amount of time it took to hit all those 55s, open up the ridiculous amount that you needed for a sector bar. Too many people gave up on it way too quick for any sector to have legitimately opened the sector bar.
Yeah, I agree.
Where was the incentive to open the sector bar? There was no sector star this time, so there was nothing there to gain from it.
Just the death scythe.
Apart from the level 94s, the vanguards, that was it. There was no other incentive to go in and get an extra prize from a sector star. So by removing that, I think they killed that sector bar.
Yeah, they killed the motivation for everybody to go get it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where they should put things like the what's that missile? The old Reaver, the Buzzard missile. Something that hasn't been released again or whatever. Put stuff like that in there. That'll encourage the players who are either playing a lot or coining a lot or whatever to be willing to put in the grind time to get it.
Exactly, or like the Aegis for 20 million or 25 million in the sector store, so if somebody hadn't got it, then they've got to grind.
All right,
All
guys.
I got out of the raid was tokens.
Well, folks,
can I ask a quick question, Price?
Go ahead.
Before we go, this one is for you. If you got an arbiter with one of these modules that keeps you healthy for longer, it's got the same purpley bar as the Aegis has. Do you think that would help in one of these raids, or do the enemy ships have to be within that circle to be effective? I can't remember.
Well, there's a couple of them, as I recall. There's friendly fields and then there's hostile fields, and so for something to help you, it'd have to be a friendly field. And I know stuff like the resonance battery. There's some things in the game that doesn't work like I feel like it should work, and of course I'm just using common sense. I'm not in logic to feel that way. Like the Aegis, for example, it's got a field on it that's hostile and friendly. So it should activate all resonance batteries instead of none. Of course, Kixeye has opted to have it affect nobody's resonance batteries, is what I understand. But so that's pretty much. I'm trying to think of all of the friendly fields. The friendly fields, there's the navigation one that buffs your turn speed, and then there's
microwave dampener.
There's the wake module. But the other ones that are hostile fields, basically that affect your enemies and actually will lower their damage output, but they have to be inside the field to be affected by that.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah.
The siege scanner as well would be considered, I believe, a friendly Well, no, it says it's
It's a hostile field, yeah. It's a hostile. There's only a couple friendly ones.
You're right. My apologies.
But anyway, guys, we are already like 15 minutes over. I think hopefully everybody felt like they had a voice on the show today. That's really the whole point of this, is basically to give everybody another outlet for having a voice. And Kixeye does. Kixeye really seems to. They have a relationship with the Battle Vortex brand, so we do seem like we get a little bit more Kixeye love. So I do appreciate everybody coming on here supporting the show via the YouTube chat as well as here on the panel. So I'm glad everybody on here got out, even with the almost no notice. I think, like I said, I posted the link like 20 seconds before I pushed the start broadcast. So my apologies for that. And I just so easily distracted. Squirrel. Anyway.
You're probably busy doing chores.
Yeah, probably so. But anyway, everybody, thanks again for coming out, and I guess we'll see you. I know we're going to try to do another roundtable next weekend, but I know our next BV show's on Thursday. I will be streaming myself on twitch.tv/price_is_wrong. So I'll be streaming some more of that today, and I guess, like and subscribe. I don't get enough likes. I feel like I wish I could get more likes, but thankfully it was a troll-free show today. So everybody have a good one.
Bye-bye, all.
See ya.